Hello, it's Lara Cowan at Botanic Shed, and I'm here today with Alistair Griffiths, who I'm very happy and more than honoured to be with. Alistair's Director of Science and Collections at the RHS, and he's in charge of trying to help the nation be healthier through learning about where our responsibilities lie in terms of environmental responsibilities, how to look after plants, how plants connect to our health. And Alistair, would you like to just let us know how you woke up to understanding and being in a position of such importance in terms of connecting people and plants?
Yeah, I think so. So where it was linked to was, I worked at Eaton Project for over a decade, and my boss at the time is Dr. Tony Kendall, and I'm a biological scientist, so I did a little work on conservation. But he basically said to me, "I want you to work on a project which was pretty much out of my comfort zone and field. It was to work with people with physical and mental challenges that they had to overcome, and create work with Ken Radford at the time, who led this to create a veg bag scheme or other things. And I'd never worked with people with the different kind of abilities or lacking confidence or before in relation to this. So actually I was quite nervous about it, and it was really quite challenging initially, but by the end of the 5 years I really embraced it. I thought it was fabulous. In fact, so much so that from creating the business case and stuff, we ended up it was forced by Ken. He was always joking, but he ended up getting me to become Prince Charming in a theatre production at Christmas, where all the staff came down, and I worked with who were the clients there, but who were now and have been my friends. And what I saw that was plants, people, and places just transformed that society, and there were so many healing properties about that. But I really didn't fully understand what were those mechanisms, what was making the role of horticulture, other than those three connectivities, helping with people's mental health.
Well, you said they seemed like you were so surprised at how happy they all were, and you felt it was a healing, a quite transformational process for you.
Yeah, because I mean, again, I think the fact that there were lots of challenges within the group of individuals within there, but we all have our challenges. And actually, for me, it was just so refreshing to see that it's something to seem more happy than people who had not needing this support, which was I just felt was really, really powerful. And I think the whole element of growing enabled that to sort of come into fruition and the benefit. I mean, one classic example was there was one lad who basically at the beginning of the project wouldn't really talk to many people. 5 years on, going, Ali, how you doing? Here's £5. Give us £5 and I'll wash your car. So building that confidence, and everyone needs that. Everyone needs that, no matter who you are, what level you are. Everyone needs that support and confidence from others. So I think this whole thing of horticulture and gardening, it brings that social connectivity at no matter what level you're at, and that cohesion with a single goal of growing plants for either food, medicine, or well-being.
So it sprung you. It acted as a kind of springboard.
Definitely.
What was the group called that people?
It was called People. It's called People and Gardens. So So it was, and really, there are a number of other projects that are out there that are doing very similar things and having very similar impacts. But for me, it just triggered this element about, okay, we really it's to be honest with you, it cycles this stuff, and there was a lot of work done many years ago, but then it gets forgotten again and then gets rekindled
like
again. It's the usual stuff, but we got to keep the flag flying. I think.
So here's a scientist, a biologist, who's emotionally triggered really to pivot quite seriously into it wasn't a huge pivot, but you are now your job is quite emotionally driven, very people driven, as well as plant driven, isn't it? And
I think, I mean, it has to be underpinned by scientific evidence and scientific research. But again, throughout my whole career as a scientist, it's you can't not do science without politics and people and environment. You can't separate the two, and therefore, I think more and more we're seeing these multidisciplinary groups coming together, which is very important to understand how best to ensure that we can overcome things like the climate and biodiversity crises, but also making sure that we have, we maintain our health as a population, and where we maintain us being happy and healthy as best we can through the decisions we make and what we do.
So you're a brilliant global knowledge bank, really, that people probably don't take enough make enough use of. I think all schools, all businesses should have a little RHS library there and access to people like you. You're an absolute fountain of knowledge. I'm really interested in your cortisol level studies and on the heart variability of what you did in a street. I don't know where the street was, but you put some.
Yeah, so basically, one of the things we really want to do I was in the back of my car, in the back of the cab with my boss, saying, "Look, this is what I want to do. We don't know what the outcomes are, but what we want to do is we want to put some small containers and a tree into a street that is devoid of green space, and have a whole street that has this green space, and then we want to measure, have a control, so those without in the similar area in Salford." Have a measure of both perceived stress scale, which is the measure of stress clinically, and cortisol levels, which is the measure of stress levels of individuals. And, so we did that. It was working with Sheffield University. We also, we worked with Lauriane Chalmin-Pugh was the PhD student. She's now the 5-year fellowship student, and we found it was great. We found three things, to be honest. The first thing was that the perceived stress score decreased by 6%, and that's equivalent to 8 mindfulness sessions. So that was quite big. It's quite major. And then on the cortisol level, when we measured the baseline, so this is a healthy level baseline of cortisol profile. So the healthy people were 23%, and then after the intervention, that shifted up to 53% healthy people. So we were showing a physiological measure. Now, let alone the qualitative data around that, about how people felt by having narcissus, jonquil, tete-a-tetes or daffodils in a very small space in spring. Was the information there was about how it gives me great pleasure that when I leave my house and come back, I've got this splash of yellow that brings me joy that was never there before. So the quantitative and qualitative data here is showing even a small amount can have a significant difference on a street's life and on people's lives and on their physiology. Yeah.
So you put 2 plants in containers on an otherwise grey street, and from having 24% of the people being at baseline healthy cortisol levels, so that's a very low number of people being healthy. You then, over time, the presence of the plants increased it to 53% of the people on the street being healthy.
Yeah, it was 50. I think it was 54%. But yeah, up into that level.
Fantastic. Well, we've had an incredibly rich conversation and lots of fun for the past hour. So you'll all hear and be able to delve into that more. But Alistair actually has a brilliant tip for us, for anyone to do. Very easy. Would you like to share it, Alistair?
Yeah, sure. I
Netflix.
trialed it. I trialed it this year because I just wanted a bit of fun to do. So if you get a milk carton, you know, the ones that you get in shop that's silver inside. If you
Yeah,
cut that milk carton in half, and then you know you've got the lid, you take the lid off, switch it around, it becomes an automatic
panel.
reservoir, the bit at the bottom.
Yeah,
Put some peat free or get some soil from your garden or somewhere, put it in the thing, and then plant a sunflower seed called Helianthus anus teddy bear, the teddy bear cultivar, and it'll only grow about that. I had it on my office desk. Make sure you keep it watered regularly, and you can grow sunflower indoors or teddy bear. You can even take that a step further and have a competition with your family and sow some sunflower seeds and just share that with each other. It's a really good thing. We did it during lockdown.
fantastic. Yeah. And really easy to remember to do. So get the milk carton, the type that come the oat milks and other
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And plant a teddy bear sunflower seed.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And I loved what you said earlier about the competition trickery, because if you wanted to trick.
Yeah. So I was a bit naughty, because I know the key is in garden plants is the cultivar.
Yeah.
So I knew that Russian giant and American giant would grow very, very, very tall. So if you want to have a competition and cheat, but you have to let people know you cheated at the end of it, because it's a bit unfair.
Yeah.
You could give someone the teddy bear, which will only grow very small, and so your competition is done. But it's a bit of a joke. Maybe just tell them initially. But there are so many different sunflowers out there, different cultivars, and again, the power of giving life through germination of a seed. It's really rewarding. You put a seed in there and you've put the ingredients together, and then you see this little thing come through the soil, and then the little seed leaves open. Well, for me, that's certainly something that got me into gardening in the very early ages, giving life.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lovely, lovely way to put it. And I don't think I could say anything better than that to end this really lovely time chatting to you. And a brilliant tip that I hope people will be out there rummaging through their recycling before they put it out to start that off. It's been lovely, lovely chatting to you, and I look forward to doing it again very soon. Thank you so much, Alistair.
Brilliant. Take care, and have a lovely evening.
You
Bye
too.
now. Bye.